जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि, जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि। चरण शरण हम लागे तिहारे, चरण शरण हम लागे तिहारे। विघ्नेश्वर है नाथ कृपा निधि, विघ्नेश्वर है नाथ कृपा निधि। सकल विघ्न करो दूर हमारे, सकल विघ्न करो दूर हमारे। जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि। जो भी ध्यावे नाम तिहारा, उसका तुमने भाग्य सवारा। जो भी ध्यावे नाम तिहारा, उसका तुमने भाग्य सवारा। मंगलकारी मंगलकारी नाथ कलानिधि, मंगलकारी नाथ कलानिधि। भाव भगति से तुमको पुकारे, भाव भगति से तुमको दयाए। जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि। करुणामय गज बदन विनायक, करुणामय गज बदन विनायक। परमानंद परम सुखदायक, परमानंद परम सुखदायक। हे सिद्धेश्वर, सिद्धेश्वर हे विद्यानिधि, हे सिद्धेश्वर हे विद्यानिधि। हर मुश्किल से तू ही उबारे, हर मुश्किल से तू ही उबारे। जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि। ऋषि मुनि योगी सब आराधे, ऋषि मुनि योगी सब आराधे। नाम तिहारा जो भी साधे, नाम तिहारा जो भी साधे। हे शिवनंदन, शिवनंदन देव सुधानिधि, हे शिवनंदन देव सुधानिधि। शरणागत के काज सवारे, शरणागत के हम लागे तिहारे। विघ्नेश्वर है कृपा निधि विघ्नेश्वर है। नाथ कृपा निधि सकल विघ्न करो दूर हमारे, सकल विघ्न करो दूर हमारे। जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि, जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि, जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि।
Jai Shree Mataji to everyone, and a very warm welcome to this evening's session. Just to start, so for the information of all those who are joining us anew, this session is happening thrice a day, and essentially the agenda is to introduce Sahajog in very brief details uh, to the new seekers. And the timings that we are holding are morning 8 and 4:15 in afternoon, and this session at 7:45. Only on Saturdays we started a session in English for those of you who requested that they do not understand Hindi so well. So let's have a session in English. So this is happening daily. Also, all these sessions are available on our YouTube channel for you to look at them later. And apart from that, what we're doing is having a daily meditation sessions at 5:30 p.m. For those of you who have now sort of understood and established a bit in Sahajog and understand some of the intricacies that we're going to talk about now. So what we'll do in the next hour or so is just briefly give you some introduction with this conversation now about what Sahaj Yoga is. Then we'll look at our internal subtle systems of chakras and nadis a bit. And then we go for a meditation session. Towards the end, we are open to any questions that you may have or any comments that you want to share or your experience that you want to share. You can join on Zoom and we can have a discussion there, or you can leave your comments on YouTube and we can answer your queries there. So to start, a brief introduction about Shree Mataji, who started Sahaj Yoga. Shree Mataji Nirmala Devi is the founder of Sahaj Yoga, and she started this movement, we can call it, in 1970. And essentially, Shree Mataji opened the last center of Sahasrara, and she found out a way to give realization en masse. The problem that she saw earlier was that we had this one guru, one shishya parampara, where very few in the world could see what others could not see. And what Shree Mataji decided was to figure out a way that everybody has the eyes to see, at least. And that's how she started Sahaj Yoga. And this was the great invention of giving en masse realization in Sahaj Yoga by Shree Mataji. Now, Sahaj Yoga has spread across 150 countries, and it has happened because Shree Mataji traveled a lot when she was alive. And she traveled to several countries also because Shree Mataji's husband, Sir C.P., was the elected UN representative for International Maritime Organization for 7 consecutive terms. And that's how Shree Mataji traveled a lot with him and spoke about Sahaj Yoga and gave realization to thousands across countries. That's how people of all religions, races, countries, and different varieties that we put ourselves into are into Sahaj Yoga. Shree Mataji was able to sort of integrate all the religions and all the beliefs that we have had across nations and religions into one aspect, into Sahaj Yoga, into the self-realization aspect of our evolution, we can say. And that's how people connected and understood Sahaj Yoga quite well. Sahaja Yoga is practiced totally free of charge. Shree Mataji has kept conditions, so to say, from the very beginning. There is absolutely nothing that you can pay to me for this, for getting your realization. This is the divine's work, and our realization is our own. And essentially, it's our own right to get our self-realization and the connection with the divine. And there is nothing in this world that we can pay for it. So, very briefly, that's about Shree Mataji and how Sahaja Yoga started. Now, to talk about what Sahaja Yoga is really is. So the word, we always talk about this, but this is so important, that the word yoga means the union with the divine. And when we say union, there is a connection, and it means that there are two bodies that are going to get connected. So who are those two? One is the Atma in us, and the other is the Paramatma. Now, what is Atma? Is the reflection of the Almighty sitting inside us as a witness to all. And Paramatma, we know, the all-pervading divine power that's working it out, everything is around us, everywhere. So that is called as the union, the yoga, and that happens sahaj. It happens very, very easily on its own, spontaneously, and there's nothing that we can do about it. Now that's a very difficult statement to explain, but the fact is, it's spontaneous because it happens by the grace of Shree Mataji to us, and only an authorized person can give us realization, and we can only ask for it. There's nothing to really do about it, and that means that all the other things that we have been talking about, of religion, of all sorts of puja part, and all of that is a waste. No, that's not true. All of that has prepared us to come to this stage. So it's like with all of that, all the religions and all the teachings that we've been following for so many lives, we have come to a state of balance. We have led a balanced life, and now we are ready to get our realization when the time is right. But in the name of yoga, actually, there's only one thing that can happen, and that is our union with the divine. And how that happens is through Kundalini Awakening. We are going to talk more about Kundalini in some time and what that power is. But that is essentially yoga. And the word Sahaj is added to it to explain it to the general population, that it's going to be a spontaneous thing. And you cannot stand on your heads for it. You cannot read books for it. There's nothing that we actually can do for it. For example, again, example I use quite a lot. So how long does it take? It takes a split of a second to happen. And Ramdas Swami, Shivaji Maharaj's guru, once told him that the time you take to climb your horse, that is one foot on the left side to the other one going to the right side. So that much time it takes for you to get your realization. You just need someone who can give it, and you need someone who can take it. So we have to be the ones who can ask for it, and Shree Mataji is there to give us a realization. Our photograph is such that from that photograph, such vibrations emit that we get our realization. So what happens with self-realization? Why do we need this, and what's the point of it all? And we are good in any ways that we are right now. So the answer to that is we've come a long way, and from animal stage, there are so many things that we can list out that we have evolved into, and there are so many things that we can say that we have become so better. But there are still so many things that are missing. We can easily say that we are not fully created the way God would have created us. There are so many things that are wrong with humanity at this time. And this is the last breakthrough that will give us that edge, we can say, or we can say it will really make us how God intended us to be. That is why Kundalini awakening and self-realization is so important. Apart from that, many of our lives troubles that we see, and these could be physical troubles, family troubles, monetary troubles, societal troubles, even global troubles that we think are happening because of environmental change, for example. These are all generated by human beings. And when we get better, we get sorted out, all of these troubles around us will slowly and eventually they will also settle down. So it's really the change inside that we're talking about, and that change inside will reflect all around us, everywhere, and that's um, how we say. I think we'll see the better times with that. So which have been promised in various scriptures, in various shapes and forms, in various languages, that there will come a time when such and such thing will happen. How will that happen? How will that change happen? How will that breakthrough happen? Is through our Kundalini awakening. And that's the only thing uh, that will give us a realization, our connection with the divine. So if that is something so important, let's talk about it a bit. And we'll try and explain very briefly what that is. So this chart that has come up in front of you here is how we look inside. This is our internal subtle system. From the outside, of course, all of us look very different. But this is how you can say the internal mechanism has been created by God for all of us. God's power, whatever name we call it, enters through the top of our head. It's called a fontanelle bone. And we know that this bone is very soft in children. It pulsates, loved up, like a heart actually. And this is the place where the power enters us when we were in our mother's womb, 2.5 months old. At that time, this energy enters and it creates, essentially our brain is like a prism. So this energy refracts into three main energies. And these three main energies are essentially creating the three channels that we see here of yellow, blue, and white. These three channels are very important and we'll talk about them. And this energy creates these 7 flower-like things that we see inside us. These chakras are again responsible for a lot of things, and they're represented in the gross as plexuses. And essentially, all these nadis and chakras define a complete physical, emotional, mental, spiritual being. All of that is defined by the energies in these chakras and nadis. The power that is left after all of this creation comes down in our spine at almost the very end, in a triangular bone, which is called as the Sacrum Bone. Now, this is very interesting that it has been named Sacrum by the Greeks, which essentially means that they also knew that there is something sacred about this place. So this is where this energy comes down and it forms coils. So when we say coils, it means kundal in Sanskrit. So it forms kundals, 3.5 kundals, 7 chakras, 3.5. There's a good math behind all of that. So these 3.5 coils, it forms and it sleeps there. It goes into a sleeping state, suptavastha. This energy is the mother power. That's why it's called as Kundalini Shakti. Now, why we say it's a mother power? Because she's the one who's our individual mother, who stays with us each and every life that we have. And she is a complete record of who we are, what we are. And she's the one who gives us our second birth. When we say second birth is really interesting because Dvijaha is the word in Sanskrit for a bird and a Brahman. So what does that mean? Dvijaha means twice born. So a bird is born first as an egg and then it's born as a bird. It comes out into the world and it sees what it is really. Similarly, how we are right now. And when we are not connected, we do not see the world as it is meant to be. So once we get connected, we are truly newly born. And that is how a Brahman should be actually. The one who's connected with the Brahma, who knows the Brahma, is the Brahman. So that's how the word Vijaha comes into play. So this is very briefly about the Kundalini Shakti. What we'll do is talk about the three channels, because that's very important for when we go into meditation. So our our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems are sort of controlled in the subtle by these three channels. On the left hand side is the channel which we call as the Ida Nadi. It governs our left sympathetic nervous system. Medical science doesn't really segregate left and right that ways, but that's how we talk about it in Sahaja. And when we say Ida Nadi, it really represents all our past. All our emotions are represented by this Nadi. All our desires originate from this Nadi. So this is the desire power. And if we are somebody who's very emotional, too many desires, thinks too much of the past, we are working too much on the Ida Nadi. So Ati Sarvatra Varjate, we know that excess is bad of everything. So if you are too emotional, depressed person, then we go too much on the left channel and we develop psychosomatic diseases that originate from this channel. We can feel the status of this channel in meditation on our left palm. So we keep the palms open in our laps like this. This channel is also called as the moon channel. On the right hand side, we have the Pingla Nadi, which is essentially the sun channel. It governs our right sympathetic nervous system. It's responsible for all our action. When we say action, it's physical action as well as mental action. So all our thinking happens through this. It also represents our future. So all our plannings for the future, thinking about the future, our ambitions. So somebody's too much on the right channel, he is going to be somebody very aggressive, egoistic, and oppressing others. Quite opposite what we talked about on the left channel. So again, excess of this causes a lot of problems because of the heat that gets generated because of the sun channel overheating, and so many problems we develop in our physical being as well. So these are the two channels. We feel them on our left and right palm. What's in the center is the Sushumna Nadi, which is governing our parasympathetic nervous system. Kundalini rises on this path. This is the path for Kundalini to rise and come at our Sahasrara and give us our realization. So that's why the balance has been talked about so much by so many real gurus in the past and incarnations like Buddha and all of them. They talked about living a balanced life so that we are in the center, and when the time is right, our Kundalini can get awakened. So when we say center, this is the channel for our present. So when we are not thinking too much of the past or the future, we are in the center. We are in the balance in every shape and form when we are on Sushumna. So what we'll do is just quickly talk about each of the chakras in one or two lines to briefly introduce you to them. First one is called as the Muladhara Chakra. This is governed by Sri Ganesha, and we worship him the first. That is the reason why we do that. He is sitting on the first center, just below the place of his mother Kundalini, Gauri Kundalini, and he is the one who's sort of the gatekeeper, we can say. He's the one who tells the Kundalini that yes, there is somebody authorized in front, and now you can rise, mother. So when we say there are deities on each center, we should not take it in any other way. It's just that these deities, they are present. For now, we can accept that later in Sahaja, all of this can be proved on vibrations. And these deities, they govern these centers by their powers, the powers that they give us. And when we go against those powers and qualities, those deities are not happy with us, we can say, and these chakras, they get ruined. So in Sahaja, we understand that all of this is very much interlinked, and our physical, mental, emotional being is very much interlinked with our spiritual being and the deities and these chakras. So, for example, at Muladhara, we say Sri Ganesha is there, who's the giver of innocence and wisdom, Buddhi, Vivek, Pavitrata, Mangalmata, all those qualities that we associate with him. And when we go against them, this chakra goes off. So, for example, we say innocence. So, if we are somebody who's not innocent but very cunning to others, then we are going against this chakra. If we are someone who's going against Pavitrata, what's the real word for Pavitrata, but in English, but yeah, chastity, or you can say somebody who's going against sex in any wrong shapes and forms, then this chakra can get very much disturbed, and we can develop diseases according to those chakra problems. On the other hand, when this chakra gets awakened, we develop wisdom and such qualities inside us. In children especially, if chakra is very strong, we can be rest assured that they will always take the right decisions in life. So it's such an important chakra for us. Each chakra is represented on our hands, our legs, in fact, on various places, but on hands is easiest in meditation to figure out the status of that chakra. So this chakra, we can see where number 1 is written on our left palm, where the arm meets the palm. That's the place for Muladhara Chakra. And each chakra we can feel on both left and right side, because each chakra has 3 aspects to it. So we feel the chakras on both our hands. And after this comes the Swadhishthana Chakra, which is governed by Brahmadev Saraswati. And so these, as we know, Brahmadev Saraswati, they are the creators of the world. So the creativity power originates from this chakra. And the Shuddha Ichha and Shuddha Vidya. So both these things, the pure knowledge and the pure desire, are also placed at this chakra. So we get all the knowledge through this chakra of the divine knowledge that we're talking about. Also, when we say creativity, people develop various art forms when they come to Sahaja Yoga, because when this chakra gets awakened, a lot of qualities come into us. Even the things that we are doing become very, very artistic and creative, and we become a dynamic and creative person. This chakra is also, we can see the right channel starts from here. So all our thinking starts from this chakra. Actually, this chakra provides the fat cells to get converted into the gray cells that are being used by our brains for thinking. So actually our thinking starts in our stomach. So all of that is also governed by this chakra. And when it has to do too much of that, it's not able to take care of the organs like pancreas and liver. And such people who think too much are the ones who develop troubles with diabetes and liver troubles and such. So this chakra is represented on both our palms. When we are talking about problems of this chakra, it's an assumption that when the Kundalini comes to that chakra and gives it energy, this chakra gets better and those problems get resolved in time. After this comes the Nabhi chakra, the green one that we see. This is governed by Lakshmi Narayan inside us. This is the chakra of satisfaction inside us. Seeking and satisfaction start from here. So both are very opposite things. But when we say seeking, it's really from animal stage when we were seeking, let's say, food and shelter, now to human stage when we are seeking maybe money, power, or other things. So all of that seeking happens here, and the fulfillment happens by the grace of Lakshmi Narayan, and that's how we get the satisfaction. We become very generous when this chakra is awakened. Also, our seeking falls into the next, it climbs the next ladder, we can say, when the seeking goes from these mundane things that we talked about to seeking of God. Because when we get fed up with all these things and we say that there is something else, that's when the real seeking of God starts, and that happens by the grace of this chakra. So it's such an important chakra. Our evolution essentially is also associated with this chakra. This is represented on both our middle fingers on left and right side. Around this is what we call the Bhav Sagra, which is the void. And this is the place of the master principle inside us, the primordial master, Adi Guru, Dattatraya's incarnations 10 incarnations are placed here, and these are in Sahaja we recognize all of them. For example, Guru Nanak, Shirdi Sai Nath, Muhammad Sahib, Zoroaster, and Lao Tse, Confucius, and Moses, and so many of them came on this earth at different points of time. And they talked about, essentially they talked about religion in different shapes and forms according to the people that they were addressing, and that's how we think that they have all talked about different things. But in Sahaja we understand that they talked about the same thing, but because it was different times, different regions, we think that they are very different. And what they did was really establish religion inside us. And that religion is not Christianity, Judaism, and all of that. That religion is the true religion that tells us what we should do and what we should not do. There's something very innate inside us that has been established by these primordial masters that tell us that this is not good, that is not good, and this is good, this is what we should do. And that is the true religion. So this is the place of religion inside us. When we see something very horrible and terrible, we end up puking, because that goes against our dharma, our religion inside us. This is also ruined when we see, when we go to some wrong gurus who are not actually masters or gurus. Also, by various things like drinking alcohol, etc., we ruin this chakra. This is represented on our palms, just around the very center of the palms. After this comes the Anahata Chakra, which you can also call it as the heart chakra. On the very center of this chakra is the mother of the universe, Jagadamba, the goddess Durga, placed. She's the one who gives us the security and the confidence that she's there to take care of us. She's the one who protects her bhaktas from this bhavsagara, as has been called, from this mire of this world, and takes them across, as we have heard in so many bhajans, etc. So she gives us that security and sense of confidence that she's there. On the left-hand side is the place of the spirit inside us, the Atma, and here reside the Shiv Parvati inside us. On the right-hand side is Sri Sitaram, who are the Maryada Purushottamas. When we go against our Maryadas in life, as in all relations, we go against the right heart chakra. On the left side is really the love and compassion that develops when this chakra is opened out, when we truly actually know that everybody is the spirit, the same. We can feel this chakra on the very small fingers on both of our hands. Also, the mother and father principle are on this chakra on the left and right side, respectively. After this comes the Vishwanti Chakra, which is governed by Sri Radha Krishna. And as we know, there are so many qualities that we associate with Radha Krishna. But let's say the sweetness in our communication. So all our communication happens by this chakra. All our ENT, our hands, all of them are governed by this chakra. So collectivity is a great quality of Vishwanti Chakra, where we become truly collective beings, and we enjoy the collectivity of others. Apart from this, there are various qualities to talk about, like the state of witness that comes in. Like we can see the world as a witness, the Leela, the play that is going on, like he could after a realization. So that witness state comes as a blessing of this chakra. This chakra can get ruined by various things, but on the left-hand side is very dangerous when it gets caught up, because we do not feel the vibrations on our hands when we meditate if this chakra is caught up. And that gets caught up when we feel guilty all the time. And we feel guilty sometimes for absolutely nothing, and sometimes for things that could be serious. But what we should do is essentially leave it up to God to judge us at this very precarious and critical time when our Kundalini is to be awakened. So let Mother Kundalini be the judge. She knows you the best, and not feel guilty about anything. So when we keep saying bad things about us and always, saying, oh, I'm no good, this, that, then this chakra gets caught up on the left side. Whereas on the right side, it gets caught up when we tell these things to others. So when we are oppressing others with our Vani. we are shouting at them, we are using abusive words. This gets caught up on the right side. Also, tobacco consumption obviously hurts this chakra very, very badly. We can feel this chakra on both of our index fingers. After this comes the Agya chakra. So this is the crossing that we can see of the three nadis crossing over each other here. And it's a very constricted path for Kundalini to pass through. Here are placed Jesus Christ, Gautam Buddha, Mahavira. All of them talked about forgiveness. Unless we forgive everyone, this chakra doesn't open up. And that's why in meditation we pray about forgiving others. When this chakra does get open up, actually there are two bodies in our heads that we can say are developed because of our being, how it's been made. The two nadis, they come and they accumulate as ego and superego on the right and on the left. And when the right channel crosses over to the left side, here is formed our ego because of all the actions that we have been doing. So all our actions lead to ego getting developed. If we are too ambitious, too aggressive, too future oriented, we could be very egoistic, and it could be like a balloon in our head, and it will oppress the superego part of it. Whereas the left channel, it comes onto the right and it forms a superego inside us. What is superego? Is essentially all conditionings, all our lives, learnings, all our conditionings, they get settled as superego inside us. If that is too much, it will oppress the ego. Essentially, that path for Kundalini to pass through is clouded over by one of these two. But when we forgive and Kundalini crosses through the Agya chakra, it sucks in both of our ego and superego. And that's how we say that all our karmas are also sucked in by Kundalini. And the path opens up for it to cross over. And basically, we'll talk about the last chakra after this. Agya chakra is represented on both of our index fingers. Yeah, so the last chakra inside us is Sahasrara Chakra. So when we said the path opens up for Kundalini to pass through, it crosses over Sahasrara. And when we say Sahasrara, it literally means 1,000-petaled chakra here. So the quality that we are associating here is integration. So we get integrated with the divine through this chakra. All these chakras are integrated into the Sahasrara chakra in our heads. There are also seats for all these chakras, and the deities, they come and rise and they sit in our in the pithas in our heads when the Kundalini rises. When we say we are integrated with the divine through this, the divine starts flowing inside us. What does that mean? Is that the Param Chaitanya, I am sure we have heard of this word, or whatever name we associated with the divine power, the cosmic energy that's created everything, that's all around us, all pervading, that starts flowing through us, through our Sahasrara. It comes inside into our nadis and chakras, and we can feel it. And because our nadis end up in our hands, we can feel them very well in our hands in meditation. So we feel it like a cool breeze flowing through. This has been described by Adi Guru Shankaracharya as Salilam Salilam Chaitanya in his book Saundarya Lahari. He says when Mother's grace dawns upon us, we feel the cool breeze, Salilam Salilam Chaitanya. In Bible, it has been called as the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost. In Quran, it's been mentioned as, it says that when Qiyamah's time will come, your hands will speak and will give witness against you. It's truly by Shree Mataji's grace that Sahaja is here to verify and really state that all of them were talking the truth and all of them are really the one. In meditation, we'll feel how these hands will speak and will give witness against us. We'll know which chakra is catching, and in Sahaja, we'll know how to cure those chakras. We can know about ourselves, we can know about others. So such powers come to us for the first time, and this is a new dimension, a new consciousness that develops for us. Sahasrara we feel at the very center of both of our palms, and that is where we feel the cool vibrations first. Now what we'll do is solve the theory part of it. We'll go into the practical of meditation. And there are some steps that we do for cleansing ourselves out. And we say that we have been formed by the 5 elements, and we use them in Sahaja Yoga in various shapes and forms to cleanse ourselves first. So we'll just show the steps to you, which we can see now with your eyes open. We'll go into meditation with our eyes closed. In the first step, we put our right hand on the Mother Earth and keep the left hand open in our lap as is shown. In the next step, we bring the right hand back into our lap and put the left hand towards the sky with our knee, with our elbow bent, just like this. The third step, we put both of our hands on the Mother Earth. We'll have some prayers here in meditation in each of these steps. After this, we bring both of our hands into our lap. All the following steps now will be done only with our right hand. So we place the right hand on our heart, where is the place of the spirit. We'll have some prayers here. Then we place this hand on our forehead across, like we would when we would have a headache. Then we place this hand at the back of the head and push back our head a bit. And in the last step, we place this hand at the top of the head. So when we do this, we'll stretch our palm completely so that the center of the palm touches the fontanelle bone that we talked about, and press it hard. Now here we have to move the scalp with our palm in a clockwise direction, and we'll have some prayers here while pressing the hand and moving the scalp in a clockwise direction. Now Shree Mataji's photograph will come on the screen. So as we talked about it, Shree Mataji's photograph is very, very special. The coefficients is such that it emits these vibrations that we talked about, the Param Chaitanya. And that Param Chaitanya is the one that gives us our self-realization. We can prove all of this that we're talking about in Sahaja Yoga going forward. But let's just keep a very, very humble approach right now towards Shree Mataji's photograph and be very receptive and in a state of asking very respectfully for our self-realization. So we'll look at her photograph with utmost respect and pray that, Mother, please give me my realization today, Mother. We'll close our eyes and bring our attention inside. Here we have to see what is happening inside us. What are the thoughts? It's important to note down the state so that we know the difference at the end as well. Now we'll do the steps that we had talked about. We'll place the right hand on the Mother Earth. We'll keep our attention on both of our palms and just see what is happening. To pray, Mother, please cleanse out my Ida Nadi, my left channel, through the Mother Earth. Mother, please take out all the negativities of my left channel through the Mother Earth. Mother, please bring my Ida Nadi into balance. Bring the right hand back into her lap and put the left hand towards the sky, with the elbow bent. To say, while keeping our attention on both the palms again, to say, Mother, please cleanse out my Pingla Nadi through the sky element or ether element, whatever we call it. Mother, please take out all the excessive heat and negativities of my right channel through the sky element. Mother, please bring my Pingla Nadi into balance and take out all its imbalances and negativities through the sky element. Now we'll place both our hands on the Mother Earth. Again, our attention should be inside. You have to pray, Mother, Mother, please bring me into balance. Mother, please take out all the negativities that are still left in my Ida and Pingla Nadis through the Mother Earth. Mother, please take out all the imbalances of my left and right channels and bring me into complete balance. Bring me into the present. Can bring back our hands into our lap now. Now we'll keep our left hand as is open in our lap as a representation of our desire for seeking the highest, and use our right hand for all the action. We'll place this on our heart first. We know the place of the heart. We'll place the right hand there. This is the place of the spirit inside us. Here we have to state a fact, a proclamation has to be made, which is the truth. That Mother, I am the pure spirit. Mother, I am the pure spirit. Just say that. And know that we are the pure spirit. Mother, I am not this body, this mind, these desires, this ego, this identity, such and such person. All of this is not me. I am only the pure spirit and nothing else. Rest is all the mithya, the maya. Mother, I am the pure spirit. Now, as I am the spirit, Mother, I am not guilty at all. We talked about it. It's very important that we do not feel guilty. Otherwise, we won't feel the vibrations. To say, Mother, I am not guilty at all. Mother, I am not guilty at all. Now we bring this hand on our forehead and place it across like we would when we would have a headache. And you have to press on both the sides. Here we have to say, Mother, I forgive everyone. Don't think about anyone, just give a blanket forgiveness and say, Mother, I forgive everyone. I also forgive myself, Mother. No point in anchoring on with our anger. It's just that we do not get anything by being angry. just let the other person treat us even more badly in our thoughts. So you have to say, Mother, I forgive everyone, and let God take over. Now we place this hand at the back of the head where we place the pillow and push our head back upwards towards the sky. Here we have to say that, O God, Lord Almighty, if you have committed any sin against you, knowingly or unknowingly, please forgive us. O God, if I have done any sin against you, knowingly or unknowingly, please forgive me. Then bring the hand back in our lap for a bit. Now the last step, we'll place the hand at the top of the head while stretching the fingers back completely and placing the palm on the fontanelle bone area and pressing here. Now while pressing, we'll move the hand in such a way that the scalp moves along with it in a clockwise direction. There Shree Mataji says that she cannot go against our freedom. We have to ask for it. Otherwise, we cannot get our realization. So you have to say that, Mother, please give me my self-realization. Mother, please give me my Atma Sakshatkar. Mother, please give me the yoga, the union with the divine. To keep saying it and pushing and rotating our hands as we talk about it. Mother, please let me feel the divine pervading power flowing through me. Mother, please give me my self-realization. Mother, please give me the union with the divine. We can stop and bring the hand back into our lap. We can keep our attention where the hand was on the top of the head and just sit for half a minute in meditation. We have to bring our attention on both the palms and just see what is happening on the fingers and on the center of the palm. Is there a cool breeze at the very center or a hot breeze coming? Is there some tingling sensation on maybe one or two fingers or maybe more? Is there some heaviness in the hands? Could be in one hand or both the hands. We've now started feeling vibrations on our hands and the status of our chakras. We'll again bring the hand on the top of the head where we had placed it and raise it a couple of inches above the fontanelle bone area. And we'll see there's a cool breeze coming out of our head and hitting our palm. Could be hot as well. We have to move our hand and see it could be coming from a particular place only. We'll bring the right hand back into our lap and try with the left hand. Just a few inches above the fontanelle bone area. You can move the hand left, right a bit and see if there's a cool or a hot breeze coming there. bring the hand back into a lap. Now, as a last step, what we'll do is just put both our hands completely up towards the sky, and palms open up towards the sky. We push back our heads and ask one of these three questions 3 times. Mother, is this the Param Chaitanya? Mother, is this the power that has created the whole world? Mother, is this the power of love of God? In response, vibrations would improve on your hands. We'll slowly bring the hands back into a lap. Keep our attention on the top of the head on fontanel bone area, where we had kept our hands on Sastrara. And we'll sit in meditation for a minute or so. This is the first blessing of Kundalini Awakening, where we go beyond thoughts into a thoughtless awareness state. Slowly open our eyes and look at Shree Mataji's photograph. We will find that we can still look at our photograph without thinking. We'll continue doing that for a bit. We'll also bring our attention to both the palms and see the status of the vibrations. Bring both the palms together in a pranam namaskara to Shree Mataji and thank her for this blissful meditative state. Jai Shree Mataji. For those of you who have joined for the very first time, this is a very initial step, just the sprouting of the seed, as we say in Sahaja Yoga. It's very important to establish this experience and get to it fully. It may take a few more sessions, and we would suggest that you continue attending for a week or so to really establish this experience. We have been having some WhatsApp groups for you to learn more how to meditate at home, etc. Siddhi will inform us more about that.
Jai Shri Mataji. For all the new seekers, if you have any questions or any experience that you must have felt during the meditation, you can either write on the YouTube live chat or you can join the Zoom meeting right now to discuss that. The links of that is shared in the YouTube chat. And apart from that, we have a WhatsApp group in which we share the details or the techniques and the literature that Shree Mataji provided about all the chakras and all the knowledge about Sahaja Yoga. So the link of that group is also shared in the YouTube chat. Jai Shree Mataji. Jai Shri Mataji. Bhaiya, I don't see any questions on the chat.
Yes. Sure, Siddhi, let's end the session.
Thank you very much, Shri Mataji, for our realization. Jai Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji.